You're watching E.T.N. Share and subscribe.
Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. This is Rob here with Amy. We're going to talk some Star Wars together. And this Star Wars video, we're going to discuss whether or not Han and Leia are going to be together in the upcoming Star Wars The Force Awakens movie. Now, Amy, you've read the books.
Yes.
So you know, we've discussed this. You mentioned it a little bit on one of the wrap-up videos. The books are not going to be canon now.
Correct. They are called legends.
Right. So obviously there's going to be some things in the movies that maybe they'll peel away from the book, maybe some ideas. Han and Leia is an interesting thought because I personally don't think they're going to be together in the movie. I just get this idea that they're not going to be together. There's that one spot in the trailer where they show Han and Chewie together in the Millennium Falcon. He says, "Chewie, we're home." So, but that could just be that they suddenly picked up again in the Millennium Falcon. They have to go back and do their thing. But outside of that, just taking that alone tells me they're not together. If he's still hanging out with Chewie and he's still in the Millennium Falcon, and if she's any kind of politician at this point, I can't see that being together. I want to know, in the books, what's their relationship like? What's the relationship in the books compared to where we might see them in the movie?
Well, in the books right now, 30 years into the future of the events of Return of the Jedi, Han and Leia are still together. They are married. She has already been the leader of the New Republic, has left that position, has actually become a Jedi Knight, has trained as a Jedi.
Really?
Yeah, so she's a Jedi, and she and Han are living on Coruscant, and they're working with the Jedi. So she still has political ties, but she's really become more of a Jedi, and Han is still with her. One of the things that is definitely different from the movies and the books, in the books at this point, Chewie has died. Chewie died saving the life of one of their children, Anakin Solo. And when that happened, Han was really distraught, and he kind of went off for a little bit, and Leia was able to bring him back. And they eventually took out Chewie's chair, and she became the co-pilot of the Falcon. So they're definitely together 30 years in the future. They've already had a total of 3 kids. Their youngest was Anakin, who died during the Yuzhang Vong War. Their second, they've got a set of twins, Jason and Jaina. Jaina was the first one. She's the oldest of the group.
Okay.
But Jason did go over to the dark side. And that happened during a period very much like his grandfather Anakin, where he had a relationship with Tenel Ka. She is the leader of her people, and I'm blanking on the name at the moment, but
it's a lot of stuff, though.
Yeah, it is. It is. So Tenel is the leader of her people, and she and Jason had a daughter together, Alana. And so eventually, in Tenel Ka's culture, it's a matriarchal society, and it's very cutthroat. And so she eventually faked Alana's death to protect her, and Han and Leia then adopted her. They dyed her hair dark, because she's a redhead, and they took her on as their adopted daughter, Amelia. So right now, they would still be together. They would be working with Luke and the rest of the Jedis to help the Jedi Order, and also be there for any ambassadorial issues that came along. Now,
and that's very interesting. Actually, all that stuff you just mentioned is very interesting because it sounds like there's a lot of motivation behind Han and Leia staying together. Obviously, her being a co-pilot is a big deal.
Yeah.
Now, we see in the Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, Chewie is very much alive. So there's no need, at least at this moment, as far as we know, for Leia to be playing co-pilot. The other thing you mentioned that's interesting is the Jedi seem to be thriving in the book.
Yes.
Where in this movie, you don't get that idea.
No,
you do not. I mean, it looks like Luke is pretty much like a hermit, like Obi-Wan.
Right.
And things to me don't look like everything's hunky-dory.
Right.
They just don't look like everything's that good. And this is why I believe Han and Leia may not be together. Now, what I think they might do, which could be very dramatic, is make them come back together.
Right.
That's something, and we're going very far into the future. That could be something episode 7, episode 8, episode 9. But what in terms of the movie, what do you think? I mean, you've read the books.
Right.
We know they're not canon, but sometimes they still draw inspiration from these books.
Right.
in terms of the movie, do you think Han and Leia are going to be together?
I think maybe, I think this may be a rekindling, something that's going to bring them back together.
Right.
So I've read a little something online where they kind of had a synopsis of the script, and they were calling her Queen Leia, and that, she gets the lightsaber delivered to her. So, and that kind of brings her and Han together, and that there was a little bit of a closeness, like, you know, like he was happy to see her again. So I think probably they might be doing that, a reconnection.
So yeah, very interesting what you mentioned about Han and Leia in terms of, in the movie, you know, I like I said, I don't think they'll be together, but I think it might be a number of things. Number one is the possibility that she might have had an arranged marriage.
Right.
Now, I can't really see that playing out that way because she's such a strong-minded character. She's very assertive. Right. But the other thing, too, is, you know, Leia, her mom was a queen, a solo queen, by herself, right. Amidala, Naboo. So if what you're mentioning is correct, or at least in theory, if it's correct, right. about her being a queen, if she's a queen in and of herself, by herself, running a world, I can't just see her going off planet. You know, right. I can't see her going off planet, running around with Han. So that's another element that plays into it. The Chewie thing, of course, as you mentioned, he's going to be alive in the movie. So there's just a lot of things in the movie right now showing me in the trailer alone that they're not going to be together.
Right,
so,
right. Well, your theory about the whole arranged marriage kind of... well, in the books, one of the things is that she was going to marry Prince Ilsador of the Hapan Consortium, and he eventually becomes the father of Tenel Ka. But, so they were going to marry to kind of unite the houses a la Game of Thrones so that the Alliance would have more ships to help take out the Imperial remnants after the destruction of the last Death Star. But Han eventually wooed Leia back, and they were able to marry. But also in the comic books, one thing that Dark Horse had done recently, they had their series of Star Wars that was taking place right after the events on Yavin. She was going to have an arranged marriage to help the Alliance there. This was before the whole Hoth thing. Okay. So there's that kind of
story element
that's been
story,
there.
Yeah, a different path.
But then the whole Queen thing too, in the comics right now, the ones that Disney and Marvel are doing, they're having a short Leia miniseries. Leia is the sole member of the Alderaan ruling family that's left. And there was one of the people in the Alliance who's like, you know, you need to take over our people again. You know, you need to unite them, bring them together. So the whole thing of her being a queen, since now Disney has it, I could see her being the Queen Leia in this movie. That they're kind of referencing, that I've read online.
So interesting. So as you can see, even though the stuff's not canon, they do have a lot of material to draw from in terms of inspiration if they want.
Sure.
So it'll be interesting to see. What do you guys think? Do you think Han and Leia are going to be together in Star Wars The Force Awakens? I personally don't think so. Amy kind of leaning in that direction as well?
Yeah, I am. I wish they really were, because their relationship in the books is so wonderful, and I'm sorry to see that gone. But at the same time, I'll wait and watch the movie and see how I like it.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, guys, so we'll be doing more Star Wars talk going forward, as you well know. Until then, this is Rob for Amy signing off for E.T.N, where we don't do news, we just talk entertainment. Take it easy.
Thank you for watching E.T.N. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Join the nation's Facebook page to meet other subscribers or visit E.T.N.'s Facebook page and Twitter page. Links for all are in the description.